So welcome to Chapter 7. I'm using a new method of recording that I just figured out which is QuickTime recording, and you can save it in 1080 or 720p or whatever you want. So it should make my life a little easier here. So on lesson 7 there are Ketchup files. They're in my Google Drive, and you can import the XML, lifted vignette, and primary media. To remind you again how to do that, File, Import XML, and then navigate to these two files and import them. So I've done that, and I created a snapshot, in other words a copy of it, and I renamed it Snapshot Lesson 7. Although in this lesson you can do this without the Ketchup files, because we're going to learn about text and color and audio, so either way that you want to do it. So the first thing I want you to know about text is it's fun and easy. There's a couple of different ways to edit in text. I'm not going to be following the book. I'd encourage you to go through the chapter on text, but I'm going to teach you instead what I know about text. So I think there's a lot of information. One of the things I do have is called Industrial Revolution, and so I have more text in mine than you're going to have in yours that I've imported. And so some of those titles you'll see. And a lot of these are new in Final Cut 10, and there are a ton of them. There's Star Wars text, Far, Far Away. So how do you get text in there? There's two different ways to do it. Let me just take a simple one that I use a lot called Assembler Copy. So what you want to do is go to a place where you want text, and I'm going to go to a place where I first see this guy. Then you can double click on the text and you'll get a little purple bar. And that purple bar is your text. You can make it longer or shorter just like any other clip. So I'm put my playhead over that text. Once it's over that text, I can edit right on screen. I can double click and start editing. I can also edit it in the inspector. So if I go to text or title, I should be seeing the options as long as I have this text highlighted. So let's see if I can make this happen. Text, okay, so there's the face of the text. I can show the outline colors. I have all these different things I can show. I can glow, I can drop shadow the text. I can turn these things on and off with these blue buttons here. Okay, so there's the face. So I can show all of the color and everything of that face. So now I should be able to type in the text right now. So I think instead of just showing you the assembler text, let me go and show you the lower third text first. I wanted to do that. So there's lower third text. I can either drag it where I want it to go, or I can double click where the playhead is. So let me put the lower third in there. So you have to make sure the playhead is over it and you've highlighted the text so you can go on screen. So once I do, I can type the name of the actor on screen and then his job title. This is what you're going to have to do for your final. Is I asked you to do lower thirds. Now one cool thing about this, you can have as many texts as you want. So let's say you wanted another text there. And let me show you another thing as well. When I typed on here, I could have been typing over here in the inspector. So where it says helicopter pilot, I could be typing more up there or less. So if you want to type in the inspector, that's fine. So now that I have that, let's say I wanted to match maybe some color in there. So I've got all these different choices. So I can see, I can change the size of the text here in the inspector, the alignment, the spacing, the tracking. So play with all that. You can make it all caps. Now if I show the face of the text, I can change the color. What I like to do sometimes is take this little magnifying glass and click on it and click on something in the video. So what that does then is matches the color. Let me go and click off the text so you can see that color, sorry. So now you can see Mitch matches the same color that was in the video. If I didn't want to do that, I could just pick a crayon, or there's different things. There's a color wheel, a color slider, a color palette, an image palette, and crayons. I really like the crayons. And you can also save colors. If you drag a color in the color wheel down there, it'll save that color so you can pick it again. So if you're matching something throughout a video, the color wheels are awesome. You can also delete colors out of there, I think, by hitting the delete key, I think, or replacing the color. So put like a new color, right, so you can replace it down there. That's just a Mac thing. That's not part of Final Cut Pro. I mean, it's in there, but it's a Mac thing. So it looks like I accidentally erased my lower third, so let me do it again and show you how that worked. So lower third, basic lower third. This time I'll double click it. I'll put it in there, and I'm going to want that to go away before the next clip, so I'm going to shorten it. Maybe bring it in right when he comes in. And now I'm going to type on there. This time I'll do it up here, Mitch. And description. I'll do it up here again. Helicopter pilot. Then I'm going to make the first one a little bit larger. And I'm going to match the color to something in the video. So show the face stuff, color, magnifying glass, pick the red. Okay, good. And you can see it's going to take a few seconds to render that out, because now it's going to have to overlay that to the video and render it, and bam, it's rendered. Okay, so this is what it looks like.
Passion is to be able to capture something that nobody's really ever seen before, or maybe in that way.
Now, just with any other clip, you can fade it in and out if you want. So if I hit Command T, that'll fade. If you feel like fading it in and out, that'll fade it. Or if not, let me just undo that. So you can do it however you want. So what I was going to do is show you if I wanted another text on top of it. Let me just put a basic title there. So now I have a basic title up here. I can move it wherever I want to, and I can put, so I can have as many layers of text as I want. So on this one, if I put introduction or something, introduction. So I've got that up there, and now let's play with it a little bit just to show you some of the things I can do. I can outline and have different colors. I can change the opacity of it and blur it, so I can do all of that. I can do like a glow to it. So these are some of the things you might remember from like Photoshop. I can do a drop shadow, and I can change the drop shadow color to a different color, so make it pop a little bit. How about that? The other thing I can do with text is on the very top, there's a thing that says normal. I can pick kind of all kinds of crazy things. So let me pick fantasy. So it has kind of preset stuff that you can work with as well. So retro, there we go. And then going back, you can then change things. These are just kind of preset stuff, so, but there's the font. So like even after you pick one of those, you can change the font to another thing if you want to. So it's pretty neat. So you can kind of see what it did. It put in a glow effect into it, which was pink, and maybe you didn't want pink, maybe you liked that, but you wanted red to match your video. So it's really fun. So these are all kinds of different choices that you can use. And then if you go back to normal, wherever that was, then you don't have to have all this crazy stuff. Again, if you don't like it at all, just hit it and hit delete, and it's gone. So it's that easy. So let's do a little bit more regarding text and see what else there is. Basic title, you can do a lot with that. One of the ones I really like is this one here. It's called Bold Fin, and you can put any picture you want right in the middle of it. So that's one that I like to use. Let's see what else. Custom I like to use. Oh, there's another one, upper thirds. So there's lower thirds, and then under lower thirds there's upper thirds. Upper thirds gives you stuff on the top, and then I don't like that font that it comes with, so I change the font. But if you're doing sports or something where you need a kind of a chapter marker, then instead of lower thirds, try upper thirds. That's another good one. Let's see what else we got. And you can see under all the categories for title, it helps to look at those. Another nice one is knockout. So you can, if you put that in there, you just see what's behind it. So let's go ahead and do that on one of these clips. Let's do it where the helicopter is. So to go ahead and double click knockout up here. Just going to put it over the helicopter. And then I'm going to move my playhead over the title. There you can see the helicopter in there. And I can make that title really big if I want to. And move it as well. Sometimes, there we go. Let me click it first and then I can move it. And sometimes it's easier to move it using transform button. In fact, I can go like that and rotate it. So now I've got a kind of a slick title that shows the helicopter right through it.
That way, from an aerial standpoint.
So those of you who have done Photoshop before, you might recognize that type of thing, but now it's animated.
That way, from an aerial standpoint.
Now if I was going to have that title be longer, let me just show you what that looks like. Let it render out. Okay.
That way, from an aerial standpoint. So much has been shot on the ground, but when you shoot something from the air.
So that one was a lot of fun. And they're basically a lot of fun because they're animated, and you can actually do whatever you want with them. If you notice, if you right click, it says open a copy in motion. So if you have motion, it'll open it in that program, and then you can add more published parameters. The published parameters are all these things that you see that are changeable in the title. So anything you see in there, you can add your own thing in motion. So anything that's a published parameter that's changeable. Let's look at some more. There's also bumpers. These are things that are nice before one of your projects, and so that's why it's called bumper. So I use these a lot. They're super easy to use. They're already animated, and you just fill in your information and put whatever picture you want in there. A lot of my students like this one, Winner's Circle. Also in this area, and I don't remember if it's in the book anywhere else, is credits. Let's go to that for a second. So I'm going to go to the end of my project and put the credits in there. And you can see here they're in my inspector. I can start typing stuff in there. So I can put my name over there. Whoops. Try that again. Rena. And then put director. So I can make some quick credits here. I can also import something from like Word or Motion and put it in here. And then that'll scroll the credits through. Oh, and I can't type my name. That's perfect. There we go. They also have trailer movie credits, which are fun. So let's look at that as well. So if you want to do movie looking, like if you're doing a trailer, you can put this in and change all the text in there. And you can see what the published parameters are. So there's the title. You can have different backgrounds for it. Under title, and then under text you can change the fonts or whatever you want to do. It's all up to you. So all these things are changeable. Now, one of the things I like about titles is some of the custom stuff. And what I did is I bought a package because I do a lot of training videos called Ripple Callouts, and that's from Ripple Training. I'll show you where that is on, since I have a screen capture on. So you go to Ripple Training. So in here, first of all, there's a lot of free stuff that you can watch videos on that I've put in the class as well. And there's things that you can buy. And here's the one I got, callouts. And you can go watch the video on your own at rippletraining.com about callouts, but I'll show you what they are. So they work the same as text. So if I wanted to show something in an instructional video or marketing video, like, hey, I'm selling this helicopter, I can just use an arrow, for example, put it in just like text, and then I can rotate it or resize it. Whoops, type in there. So go here and select my arrow text. Now I can rotate it, resize it, hopefully. Right now it's giving me problems. I probably need to render it first. Okay, there we go. Now. Okay, so there's my text. And then the arrow itself, I can go on there and change the size. Here's all the sizes and the colors and everything. So I can scale it back. I can rotate it. I can type different text in there. Helicopter. And I can change the text size also. So it's really nice. I can change all the colors of everything, so it's all pretty easy to use. I made it crazy. So callouts, they have magnifiers, text bubbles, and they're all animated, so when they come on the screen, this is what I like about it is
shot that day, and then be able to kind of relive that and go, yeah, that's exactly what I saw. And in turn, I'm able.
So the animation comes on and off, so it's not just some kind of boring arrow that just sits there. That's one of the things I really like about it. And what I've gotten used to doing is using these kind of XY coordinates to change things around. And I did mess up probably I think the head of it. So you can drag these coordinates around to change the arrows around. So I think I messed it up, and I should probably put 0 there. So 0 here, there we go, 0 there. No, I've really messed it up. Okay, now I have no arrow at all. So I would, let's do another thing just to show you. The magnifying glass, though, that one I use a lot also. So if I wanted to concentrate on one thing in my video, I can just magnify it. And again, it just works like text. It goes in as
shot
text.
That day, and then be able to kind of relive that and go, yeah.
So maybe I want to zoom in on the logo or whatever. So pretty neat. So if you're doing training or instructional stuff, the callouts, you can do that all manually in Motion, but if you want to save a lot of time, they're there, and they have a lot of parameters that you can change in those. Let's see what else about text I can tell you. I think that's the main things I use. I have some free ones I also got that are some kind of charts and things. Sometimes when I use this these plugins, they come with some free extra ones, so I've got those. And it goes on and on. There's so many things under text, so but pretty self-explanatory. You drag it or double click where your playhead is, and then you can change the length of the purple box. Same with the credits. If you need your credits to slow down, just make the box longer. So anyways, have fun with it and make it kind of original, because that'll make your work a lot more interesting.